How's it going, everybody? In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning about the planar modeling aid in Rhino. First thing we're going to do is open up a Rhino window. We got a blank Rhino file right here. So planar, what does planar mean? Planar just means that something is in the same plane as something else. So a plane can be any surface that is totally flat. So here we're making, in shaded mode, a surface that is totally flat. It has zero thickness, and right now it is in a single plane. If it wasn't in a single plane, it would look like this. We're going to turn the points on, this surface, points on, and we're going to move this point vertical. You can see this isn't planar anymore. It's not totally flat. So when it is totally flat, it's planar. When things are coplanar, it means that there are two things that are in the same exact plane as each other. So we'll take this, move it with the gumball. So now these two things are in the same exact plane. So if we look at them in the top view, you can't really tell. If I move this one vertically and we look at it in the top view again, you'll see it looks exactly the same as it did before. Here they're in the same plane. Here they're not on the same plane. I'm undoing, redoing. You can see there's no change here. However, if we go to the front view, you can see here things are not coplanar, but here things are coplanar. They're in the same exact plane. So that's what it means for something to be planar. So we have two things that are planar right now. We're going to add a few more of these surfaces in a few different places. So we're just going to make a rectangle over here. And there's a quick little command that's pretty useful for whether or not you want to see if something's planar. Right now I have a rectangle that's a series of curves. And this rectangle, I would hope, is planar. If I click on it and I type planar surf, hit enter. If it makes a surface, that means it's planar. If it doesn't, that means that one of the points on this this rectangle is not on the same plane as the others. So when I try and make a planar surf, it won't make it. It'll give me a command. It says, no faces were made, curve must not be closed or planar. So here we have a planar surface, or planar triangle, or rectangle, sorry, turn it into a surface. And we're gonna make a few copies of this rectangle. Bam, one right there. And we're gonna make one up here. We're going to move this guy over a little bit. So the planar modeling aid, what does this do? We're going to turn this surface back. The aid is down here, down at the status bar. If we click on the planar modeling aid and it's highlighted and bold, that means it's on. If it's not, that means it's off. A quick way to turn it on is you can type the letter P, hit enter, and you can see it says planar drawing is on, and it turns it on down at the bottom. If you want to turn it off, you hit P, then you hit enter again. So what this will do is when you're drawing, it'll keep things in the same plane. This happens automatically even when planar is off, but only at the C plane, which is the construction plane. So if I just started drawing some random shape, this shape would be totally flat and planar at the construction plane, right? It's at the construction plane. However, if I tried that again, and my first point that I clicked was somewhere that wasn't on the construction plane, for example, this corner up here, which is higher than the construction plane, then the first curve, or the first point, is all the way up here. But the rest of them are up and down everywhere. So they're not planar anymore. Let's try that again with the planar command on. Click here, and we'll click in a few different places. Close that up. Now if we look at that curve, that's totally flat. With the planar modeling aid on, it makes something totally flat. With it off, it messes this up. Not flat, not what I want it to be. So just for some context here, let's say I wanted to cut a weird shape out of this surface. We're going to extrude this I don't know, 3 inches. So now I have this block, and let's say I wanted to cut a weird keyhole kind of shape out of the top of this block. Then what I want to do is draw that keyhole shape up here somewhere. So maybe, and I'm just going to freehand this. So please excuse. That's kind of like a bean shape. But now, if I look at that, it's all the way up top on that surface, perfectly flat, right where I want it to be. So now I can take this, extrude this, through there, put it in the right spot. Get rid of this, take that, put that in the right spot, and now we can cut this shape out of here. So we'll go ahead and do that. So now I have that shape cut out of this block. If I didn't do that, if I didn't have the planar command on there, then what I would have had to do is draw it on the C-plane and then move my shape from here, move vertical from any of these points to there, then get it in the right spot. And that's just a lot more steps. So planar is really useful in a few instances like this. We're going to move this to be at a kind of intermediary level, so low, medium, high. If you start drawing something with the planar command on, it'll make something planar to whatever the first point you clicked is. So if I click there, it makes something on that level. If I click here, it'll make something on this level. And if I click here, it'll make something on this level. So now if we look at this, we should have 3 different curves on 3 different levels, and they should all be planar, which is exactly what we have. Planar is really useful when you want things to be on the same plane or totally flat. You want to draw on top of something else. It's not useful if you want to draw in between objects. So let's say I want it to go from here to there to there. So I want it to change levels. If I try and do this, because my O snaps are on, it's making it happen. But this is not really one of the instances I want to have planar on. In this kind of situation, if I wanted to change in between a bunch of levels, it's probably better for me to have planar off. That's pretty much it. That's how you can use the planar command in Rhino.